My fiancé and her daughter were furious when I didn't include them in my $1 million life insurance policy. That's when I realized I wasn't a man to them. I was a wallet. So I cut them off and walked away from the life they tried to trap me in.
Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin.
Call me Ethan. I'm 39. I met Camille 3 years ago at a friend's charity event. She had that kind of effortless elegance, the kind that didn't demand attention, but somehow always got it. She was charming, articulate, confident. The kind of woman who made you feel like she saw you, really saw you. She had a daughter, Alyssa, from a previous relationship. Alyssa was 17 when we met, polite, distant, guarded. I didn't push. I wasn't trying to replace her father. I was just trying to be present, supportive, and respectful of their dynamic. As for me, I had spent the last 15 years building my life from scratch. I started in real estate straight out of college, working insane hours, sleeping in the back of my first office, eating takeout noodles 5 nights a week. Eventually, it paid off. A few big commercial developments later, and I had built something solid, assets totaling over 7 figures. Not flashy. I didn't drive a Ferrari or flood my Instagram with motivational quotes in front of yachts. I just lived well, quietly, intentionally. When Camille came into my life, it felt like a perfect fit. She spoke of partnership, legacy, healing, big words that meant a lot to me. She said she wanted to build with me. Alyssa would be going to college soon, and she painted a picture of us traveling, growing old together, maybe even starting something philanthropic. It felt real. So, last year, I proposed. She cried when I asked, said yes before I could finish the question. It felt like everything I had worked for, not just financially, but emotionally, had found a home. Then came the insurance policy. My financial advisor suggested I update my life insurance paperwork, especially now that I was engaged. It was a $1 million policy I had taken out years ago to ensure my brother Jordan would be secure if something happened to me. He had been my ride or die from the beginning. Slept on the office floor with me when I was broke, talked me down from panic attacks when deals fell apart. He was my family. Naturally, I kept Jordan as the primary beneficiary. Camille and I weren't married yet, and I figured once we tied the knot, I'd revisit the documents. A week later, Camille found them. At first, she didn't say much, just a slight chill in her tone. Then came the tension, and then the confrontation. I remember it vividly. After dinner, I was rinsing plates when she and Alyssa cornered me in the kitchen. Camille's voice was steady but cold. "You don't trust me," she said. "You're ready to marry me, but I don't even make it onto your insurance paperwork?" I tried to explain. I said it was a matter of timing, that we weren't married yet, that it wasn't personal. That's when Alyssa, who'd barely spoken to me in weeks, said something that hit harder than I expected. Real families take care of each other. That line stuck in my ribs like a thorn. The next few days were off. Camille stopped cooking. Alyssa stopped speaking to me entirely. There were new shopping bags every day, high-end brands, luxury makeup, shoes, and Camille started borrowing my credit card without asking. I never used to mind, but now it felt entitled, calculated. Then came the moment that changed everything. I'd just come back from a long evening run. Headphones in, sweat dripping, cutting through the garden on my way to the back door. As I passed the study window, I heard Camille's voice low, but clear enough. "He'll probably change the beneficiary eventually. Just keep being sweet. Once we're married, it's locked in. 6 months, maybe a year." She didn't finish the sentence. Alyssa laughed. I stopped in my track. They didn't know I was outside, didn't know I was listening. But that single moment, that offhanded, casual cruelty sliced through whatever illusion I had left. I wasn't a man to them. I was a payday. A walking safety net. I didn't say anything that night. I showered, climbed into bed beside the woman who was plotting my financial death. I stared at the ceiling in silence. The next day, I made some calls. Quietly, calmly. I froze the joint credit cards. Had Camille removed from anything remotely tied to my assets. Called my lawyer and updated my will. changed the locks while she was out shopping, packed her things, placed them neatly in boxes on the porch. She came back furious, livid, tears and rage all at once. "You're overreacting. You don't just throw people away," she screamed. "No," I said, "but you weren't in love with me. You were in love with the idea of security, of a shortcut. I'm not your plan B. I'm not your bank account. I'm a person." She said I'd promised her stability, that she did it all for her daughter, that I didn't understand how hard life had been for them. I didn't respond. I just closed the door. It's been 6 months now. I moved into a quieter place, smaller, humble, but peaceful. Jordan comes by often. We cook, play chess, talk about life. No masks, no expectations, just truth. People ask me if I'm angry, but the truth is I'm relieved. I'm grateful. Because Camille didn't betray me when she confronted me about that policy. She betrayed me when she started seeing me as a means to an end. And, ironically, that policy, the $1 million piece of paper they fought over, saved more than my wealth. It saved me. 2 weeks later, Camille started reaching out. Calls, texts, emails, showed up at my office once, then waited by my car another time. She looked tired, unpolished. The spark she once wore like a crown was gone. "I made a mistake," she said. "We both said things we didn't mean." I was scared. I panicked. I let her talk. She said she'd go to therapy, that she'd prove she wasn't using me, that she and Alyssa just didn't know how to trust people. I didn't yell, didn't accuse. But I stopped her mid-sentence. "You already proved what you were after," I said. "I just didn't want to believe it." She flinched, but I wasn't trying to hurt her. I just wanted honesty. And honesty doesn't always come in flames. Sometimes, it just shows up in silence. When you realize the love you thought you had was never yours to begin with. That was the last time I saw her. Alyssa reached out a few months later. Just one message. "You were the first stable man we ever had. I'm sorry we broke that." I didn't respond. Not because I hate her, I don't. She was a girl raised in survival mode, taught that affection was earned through leverage, not love. But I couldn't be their teacher. I couldn't be the lesson. I had to save myself. You see, when someone breaks your trust, it's not just them you stop believing in. It's yourself. You second-guess your instincts. You wonder what red flags you ignored. You feel stupid for hoping. So I started therapy, not because I was broken, but because I wanted to make sure this pain didn't harden into who I became. And slowly, I rebuilt. Not just my finances, my heart. I became more intentional with my time, my energy, my faith in people. I stopped investing in potential, started investing in proof. One day, over coffee, I told this whole story to a longtime friend. She didn't pity me, didn't gasp or dramatize it. She just listened. "I always thought Camille looked at you like a prize," she said softly. I hoped I was wrong. That's when it hit me. I wasn't blind. I was hopeful. There's a difference. Hope is powerful but dangerous when handed to people who haven't earned it. Camille didn't earn my hope. She borrowed it, spent it, just like everything else. And the funny twist? I canceled the policy. Because I realized something. I didn't need $1 million promise that someone would care if I died. I wanted a life where people cared while I was still here. Now, I invest differently. My money, my heart, my trust. I spend it on people who show up not for the payout but for the person. Because the real value in life, it's not in what you leave behind. It's in who stands beside you when there's nothing left to gain. And that, my friends, is the kind of security no insurance policy can ever buy. It's been nearly a year since I walked away from Camille and Alyssa. Life has a funny way of slowing down after chaos. It doesn't announce healing with fanfare, it just starts feeling quieter, lighter. My business is doing fine. I'm not chasing deals like I used to. I work smarter now, not harder. I make time for morning runs, weekend hikes, Sunday dinners with Jordan. My world shrank, but it feels richer somehow. I started volunteering with a local mentorship program helping young entrepreneurs who are where I was 15 years ago. Hungry, hopeful, broke, but driven. In that time, I started dating again. slowly, carefully. Then, about 2 months ago, Camille reached out again. This time, it wasn't a call or a text. It was a handwritten letter dropped off at my office. The handwriting on the envelope looked different, neater, almost like she had rehearsed how to make it look sincere. Inside, the letter was 5 pages long, full of apologies, confessions, regret. She admitted to the manipulation, admitted that at some point, the relationship had become less about love and more about survival for her. She said losing me made her realize the life she had been chasing wasn't what she truly needed. She'd started therapy. She'd cut back on the shopping, reconnected with family. Alyssa was doing better too, apparently. I never truly saw you, she wrote, until you were gone. I didn't know how to feel reading it. There were no tears, no anger, just sadness. Not because I missed her, but because I once gave so much to someone who never valued it. And then, 2 weeks later, she showed up in person. It was late afternoon. I had just wrapped up a meeting at a cafe when she stepped out of a car across the street. She was thinner, wearing simpler clothes, her hair tied back, no makeup. She looked ordinary, human. "Ethan," she called out, her voice soft. We sat at a park bench. I let her talk. She didn't beg. She didn't plead. She just said she missed me, missed us, that she still believed in the version of life we once talked about. I asked her a question that had been circling in my mind since all of this began. Do you miss me, or do you miss the life I gave you? She paused. That pause told me everything I needed to know. I don't know, she said. That was the most honest thing she ever told me. So I stood, nodded once, and said, "Then we have nothing left." I walked away. That was the true end. No yelling, no slamming doors. Just silence, the kind that comes when you finally stop asking for closure and choose peace instead. Some people won't see your worth until they've lost access to what you give. And by then, it's not you they want back. It's the comfort, the lifestyle, the security. But I learned something through all of this. Love isn't proven by what people say when times are good. It's proven by how they treat you when there's nothing left to gain. I used to think that insurance policy was about protection, about leaving behind something for the people I cared about. But now I understand. The most valuable legacy I can leave isn't money. It's self-worth. It's the decision to walk away when someone only loves you for your resources. It's choosing truth over fantasy. It's recognizing that hope, while beautiful, must be earned, not handed out freely. I'm not bitter. I'm not cold. I'm just wiser now. I don't regret loving Camille. I regret not loving myself enough to see the signs sooner, but I see them now. And that, I think, is what healing really is. Not forgetting the pain, but learning to stop bleeding from it. So I canceled the policy. I invested in therapy. And I ensured the one thing that matters most: my peace. Because in the end, the real security isn't in who cries at your funeral. It's in who shows up for your life. Without a payout waiting, thank you for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, protect your peace, value your worth, and never settle for love that only shows up when there's something to gain. See you in the next story.